Good morning, everybody. This is Chrissy from SolsticeATR and Vulcan Capital Research. Hope everybody's doing very well. I'm actually gonna cover a small little video before the long weekend, Memorial Weekend, which is the kickoff of summer. I'm gonna call this, is this the kickoff to a new start, down move or reset in summer, side action, or we go back up? If I take a look at the full combinations of the S&P, NASDAQ, the Russell, and the Dow, we have created a small, let's call it, I consider these like a double shoulder. This is the head, this is the shoulder. A lot of people call this an H pattern. An H pattern, usually it's like a bullish pattern, like here going up. You create a shoulder and you continue high and you get a straight breakout to the upside. If this gonna break below the 200 SMA, 116 to head back to the 61.8, and I would mark the 36,050 area, 36,030 area would be a nice round number. In this area, if we're gonna head lower in the following weeks, what we can do is use an oval to mark it, or is this a change to going back up? Because the combination of those four instruments, if you consider these two a double bottom, do we break back up above this area, the 37,625 to 50 area, to continue higher and go back up here? I'm going to put a marker here with an oval, and we'll do the one at the bottom like I said before. I'm going to make it a little thin and long, and we're going to mark this. If it loses the 200 SMA and this prior bottom, we won't hold the 116 SMA, and what I'll do, I'll mark this territory here, the 3600, the 36,100, 200 area to 36,050 area would be my marker to the downside. So that's the combination of the four instruments. I want to break for the other ones, which is the E-mini contract. The is go over the ES a little bit more in details. Since last time, since the last push, what we had a decline in volume here in this area. Then we had a push up, 5 days, 6 days consolidation, pushed up a little bit, went 5 days, then we pushed higher. Eventually we came back and reset. If we consider this is the shoulder, is this the head, is this the shoulder of an H pattern that everybody calls this is an H? Most bears would like to see an H pattern break down and continue lower, which will get us back to the 200 SMA, 116 SMA, and eventually the 61.8 fib, which is around the 27.15. And I will mark it here as well. We're just going to change a little bit the markings. I'm going to move this over to the right side. Remove drawing. We're just going to make it a little bit more to this side with the 200 SMA and the 116. And if this doesn't break down, I mean, if it looks below, comes here, doesn't make it to the backside of this channel, which is the 116, I mean, this would be a very nice fair area at the 27.55 to 47 area, but I don't want to call it, because if this holds down here, the 2800, which is a round number, this may U-turn, and if you clear the 2840 area to 5060 area, this will continue back up. And what I'm going to do is remove this oval because it's no longer valid, and I'll move this one to the right side of the charts. Remove this one, and we'll move this one right up to the 161.8, because if this clears the 50 SMA and the 18 SMA, this may continue back up and clear this first down channel and the second channel up here. So that's the S&P 500. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ slash NQ. If I look at the NASDAQ 100, a little bit different story. We had, these two tops. Then eventually we came close enough. Eventually up here we consolidated, we broke higher. We had a top here on 425. This one missed it by a little bit and came back down, created an H pattern like everybody says. If you notice these two, but this is 72.90 and this is 72.68, which is a little lower than the prior. This has actually violated the H pattern, which is a double bottom. Came back on Friday and consolidated. I've been out actually for 5 days. I'm on vacation, for my nephew's graduation. That's why I'm out of town. Didn't trade that much. Since Monday, the market headed lower. This oval would be okay. What we're going to do, remove it and just make it a little bit more longer to this side. We'll keep the same area here. This one, we're going to rechange it. Remove drawing. Going to remove this one too. You can do a down channel here, which I'll do. In this one, the 200 SMA and the 61.8 would be the target in this area if we're going to head back to the 7100, just to the 7,000 number. It's a mathematical, basically. One is mathematical, which is a 61.8. The other one is a mental, the 7,100 or 7,000 area. But if we end up going back higher and we clear the 50 SMA, the channel would be the 61.8. And what I'll do, I'll put a marker right here as well. And what I'm going to do is draw a down channel. We grab the instrument to do a channel. We grab the nearest high, which is this area here, to the prior high here and connect it. And if we clear this area up above the 74.50 area, 7,500, look to the upside back to going back up on the Nasdaq, because this is the shoulder, this is the head, this is the shoulder. If this is not continuation to the downside, look for the U-turn. Let's take a look at the Dow Industrial Area YM, the 30 from the year before in November. We never had a prior high. If you notice, we had two tops almost identical, missed by 3 points. We came back in, but if you notice, this had like a double head here. This is the the shoulder. This is the head. We came lower than this area here. If you noticed, if we call this a double, this is the second. The Dow is actually holding its ground at 25,500. If the Dow clears 25,700, look back to the upside, and this would be the oval. This square box, we never was able to do the double top. We're going to remove it right now. Remove the square. Okay, this oval, we're going to remove it and put a new one at the bottom, one at the high. Remove drawing. Let's grab an oval. We're gonna, that double bottom, if it's not cleared, your 61.8 would be the backside of this channel, the 24,800 area, and the upside would be above the 50 SMA, and the 61.8 would be 122 to 125. We'll mark it right up here. And let's see what the Dow does. Why isn't it doing that? Okay. So let's go now to the Russell small cap, RTY. In the RTY, if everybody noticed this right area, this consolidation, we had it here. We've been going back and forth. We broke the 1600 and we came back below the 1530. In order for the Russell to continue higher, it has to clear the 1550 area to go back up. This one is no longer valid because we were never able to break out, to get everybody up and running. We're going to keep this oval here, but what I'm going to do is move it to the right. That would be meeting with the 50 SMA and the 61.8 and the 18 SMA. If we clear the 1550 area, that will be continuation higher. We have a down slope, we have a down channel. If this is basically around the 50 SMA, if you guys noticed, from the prior high to the low. Is the Russell going to hold the 50 or going to head back to the 1450 area, which would be the 38.2 fib? So I'm going to mark that one as well. So let's watch what next week, since next week is a short week, since the Memorial weekend, which is the kickoff of summer. Is the volume going to dry up? Is there a change in trend to the downside? I don't want to be biased to the downside because everybody's always bearish or bullish. If the technicals break the double H pattern on the Dow, the Nasdaq, which already touched the S&P, and the Russell, since it's the weakest, takes us lower, we'll head down to this area, okay? And that would be meaning the backside of this channel and the 38.2. If the Russell continues weak, watch for the other little the larger instruments, the S&P 500, the Nasdaq 100, the Dow 30, to follow the little girl, which I call the Russell, on the direction she's heading. If the Russell picks up steam and clears the 1550, watch your fingers being short. Bears, okay? That's all I'm gonna say. What I'm gonna do is just review just a little bit the S&P 500. This a faster time frame. Let's do it on a 20-day. Noticed on the hourly chart. Come on. We've been down sloping from the prior high, the 2961 area and a quarter. We headed lower. This was a prior high. I didn't connect it. I left it to the prior high. If we clear the 2840 area, everybody, keep an eye on the 52 to 60. 60 gets us back to the 98. So what I said earlier on the video, keep an eye on this area. If we continue back up, this will push us back up. If this double bottom doesn't happen and everybody's betting to go lower, because this is an H pattern, this is the down move, this is the hump of it, and if it doesn't continue and goes the other way, look out. If it goes through and loses that 2800, which is a round number, go with the Russell direction, okay? And just to let you guys know, since Monday of last week, because I've been out since here myself all week, I haven't traded. Friday was Thursday was a down move from Wednesday. Then Friday pushed up and consolidated in this area to hold the 2800. If you notice, there's a gap in this area here, and there's a gap. Well, actually, we didn't miss it here, but there's a gap in the volume. If I go to SPX or SPY, it'll show it in there. SPY. I'm using an electronic account. The SPY shows it right here. You see it, guys? So there's one here, and there's one here from the Monday night action. We were not able to come back up, clear it, and come back down. If I put a volume profile on it, it'll show /ES. We'll go back and just put the volume profile in there for everyone. You can use a regular one, from TOS or the Monkey will give you that information. If we come to this area here since the last couple of days, you can see that the action in here, this move down, had a gap, stayed lower, tried to get back, didn't fill the whole gap, and we eventually fell through lower, came back up. So there's a little gap here, you notice, between here and here. We filled a partial of this gap here, you noticed it? We can create a box in this area from here, from this, close, or this low here to here, and create a box going across on the charts on the daily. But what I'll do, I'll show you how to look at it. You can look at this low here or this low here from the, the daily trading hours market, go across the board to the prior high, which is the 42 on Friday, and this is your gap that you have to, guys, fill on the way up to the close in order to continue high, and we can extend that to the right side. So just letting you guys be aware of it. Enjoy your Memorial weekend, the kickoff of summer, and have a good weekend. And what I'll do on Monday, I'll try to put a video out since I'll be back home that night before the market opens. I'll do a couple on equity, and I'll review the S&P 500 from Solstice ATR and everybody at Vulcan Capital. Have a great weekend. and see you guys next week at our chat room. If you like this video, subscribe to it. It's free, comes out once a week, and take care.